The Placebo Effect. Welcome to NDJWonders, a channel under NDJProductions. Today, we're exploring one of the most unsettling and fascinating powers ever documented in the human mind. A force so strong it can reduce pain, alter hormones, change immune responses, and in some cases, heal the body without medicine. This is the real science behind the placebo effect, and why the brain may be the most powerful drug humans have ever discovered. To understand this better, we need to begin with a simple idea. For decades, scientists believed the mind and body were mostly separate systems. Thoughts were thoughts. Biology was biology. But clinical trials kept revealing something impossible to ignore. Patients who received fake treatments sometimes improved just as much as those given real drugs. Sugar pills, lowered blood pressure, saline injections reduced pain. Sham surgeries produced real recovery. At first, these results were treated as errors, but over time, the pattern became impossible to dismiss. But there's more. The placebo effect is not imaginary. Brain scans show measurable physical changes. When someone believes they are receiving pain relief, the brain releases endorphins, the same chemicals triggered by morphine. When someone expects anxiety to fade, stress hormones drop. In Parkinson's patients, placebo treatments can increase dopamine production, temporarily improving movement. These changes are not psychological tricks. They are biological reactions triggered by belief. However, the real surprise comes next. The placebo effect does not require deception. Studies have shown that even when patients are told they are receiving a placebo, their symptoms can still improve. This suggests the brain does not need to be fooled. It only needs a ritual, an expectation, and a sense of meaning. The act of treatment itself becomes the trigger. What happens afterward is even stranger. In some documented cases, patients experienced side effects from placebos: nausea, headaches, fatigue. This phenomenon is known as the nocebo effect, where negative expectations produce real harm. The brain does not distinguish between positive and negative belief. It simply responds. This reveals a disturbing truth. Expectations alone can create illness just as easily as they can relieve it. To understand this better, scientists studied how the brain predicts reality. The human brain is not a passive observer. It is a prediction machine. It constantly forecasts what will happen next and adjusts to the body accordingly. If the brain predicts healing, it releases chemicals that support recovery. If it predicts danger, it prepares the body for pain and stress. Placebos work because they reshape those predictions. But there's more. Cultural context plays a massive role. Placebos are stronger when treatments look more serious. Pills work better than capsules. Injections work better than pills. Surgeries work better than injections. Even the color of a pill can change its effect. Red and yellow are more stimulating. Blue and green are more calming. The brain associates meaning with symbols, and those symbols become biological commands. What happens when researchers looked at extreme cases is even more astonishing. In one documented trial, patients with severe knee pain underwent surgery. Some received real surgical repair. Others received sham surgery, where doctors made incisions but did nothing inside the joint. Months later, both groups reported nearly identical improvement. The brain rewrote pain signals because it believed healing had occurred. However, this does not mean diseases are imaginary. Tumors do not vanish because of positive thinking. Broken bones do not realign themselves through belief alone. The placebo effect has limits, but within those limits, it is far more powerful than once believed. It can change how symptoms are perceived, how the immune system responds, and how fast recovery occurs. To understand why evolution allowed this, researchers turned to survival psychology. Pain is not just a signal of damage, it is a protective response. If the brain decides the threat has passed, it can lower pain to allow movement and recovery. In ancestral environments, belief in healing rituals may have provided real survival advantages. Those who recovered faster lived longer. Over thousands of generations, the brain learned how to heal itself when conditions felt safe. But there's more. The relationship between doctor and patient dramatically affects outcomes. Warmth, confidence, and reassurance increase placebo responses. Cold, rushed interactions reduce them. The brain interprets care as safety. Safety allows healing systems to activate. This means that compassion itself has measurable medical value. What happens when we apply this knowledge to modern life is transformative. Stress, anxiety, and chronic pain are often fueled by constant threat prediction. The brain remains in defense mode. By changing expectations, routines, and beliefs, people can reduce that internal alarm. This does not replace medicine. It enhances it. The mind becomes an ally rather than an obstacle. However, this power comes with responsibility. False hope can be dangerous. Pseudoscience exploits placebo effects without acknowledging limits. Real science respects both the mind's influence and the necessity of evidence-based treatment. The goal is not to reject medicine, but to understand how belief interacts with biology. To understand this better, researchers are now designing treatments that intentionally harness placebo mechanisms. Open-label placebos, therapeutic rituals, enhanced patient communication. These methods aim to amplify healing without deception. Medicine is beginning to recognize that treatment is not just chemistry. It is experience. But there's more. The implications extend beyond hospitals. Expectations shape performance, motivation, and emotional resilience. When people believe improvement is possible, the brain adjusts behavior and perception to support that belief. This is not magic. It is neural adaptation. What happens when we truly accept this is profound. The brain is not a passive victim of the body. It is an active participant in health. Every expectation sends signals. Every belief nudges chemistry. Every ritual matters. The placebo effect is not a trick. It is a window into how deeply connected mind and body truly are. The brain that heals itself is not a miracle. It is a system doing exactly what it evolved to do: predict, adapt, protect, and sometimes restore. Understanding this does not make medicine weaker. It makes it more complete. If you enjoyed this video, visit the links below for more content from NDJ Productions and NDJ Wonders.